Today, we're in Magic Kingdom to try all of the new food. There are new cold brews, new Mickey bars, new breakfast offerings, and yes, new chicken tenders as well. But are any of these new bites actually worth checking out on your next trip here? Let's go find out. Disney has just recently released a ton of new food, and I figured what better place to come try a bunch of it than Magic Kingdom. And today we had to get here extra early because some of this food is only available for breakfast. So first, we're heading into Frontierland to hit up the Golden Oak Outpost. Since Golden Oak Outpost is located kind of right next to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, this quick service stand has taken over selling some New Orleans themed food in recent years. More specifically, beignets. And just a few days ago, they actually introduced a new breakfast menu here at Golden Oak, and on it, a new beignet flavor. I don't believe they ever had breakfast here in the past. I could be wrong. I never get to Magic Kingdom early enough to have breakfast myself, but I'm very excited to check out this new breakfast here. So of course, we're gonna grab the whole spread. All right, here we have the spread. So you can see we've got a little bit of everything. We've got a little bit of sweet right here with these new, I guess you could say, loaded beignets. These look quite tasty. Then we have a savory breakfast sandwich here. And we also have a new specialty cold brew, which I'm really excited for. And I guess we should get started with a little coffee here. This is the honey lavender cold brew. It's a Joffrey's cold brew coffee with a honey lavender cold foam, and then it's topped with a honeycomb toffee and a sugar candy piece for $6.29. So you guys know I am always over in Disneyland, and every time I'm there, I am so excited to try all of the different specialty coffees and cold brews that they have. Pretty much every single quick service restaurant or little snack stand has their own specialty coffee with cool cold foams, cool toppings, really interesting flavors. And here at Disney World, there's like a couple places you could get cold brew, or there were a couple places you could get cold brew, but no fun flavors and nothing really special. But now, they have released a couple of specialty cold brews, and I hope that's a step in the right direction, meaning that they're gonna start releasing even more here on the East Coast. I don't know, it got me really excited. And this one here sounds really interesting too. I guess we should give it a stir here to incorporate some of this foam here before we give it a try. Honey lavender, I'm not sure how that's gonna go with coffee, but I guess we'll see. That is definitely a really interesting flavor. You get a little bit of that lavender coming through, but it's not too much, but it's definitely there. And if you're not a fan of that lavender flavor, you are not gonna like that because you can taste it. I happen to like that lavender flavor as long as it's not overdone in drinks. So I do quite like the foam. My issue with this cold brew, which has been my issue with a lot of the Joffrey's cold brews lately, even in Disneyland, it's been so sour. And I know cold brew is supposed to be a little more sour than like regular coffee and stuff, but it's like overly sour. Like when you get a cold brew at Starbucks, it doesn't taste like this. I don't know. So if you like the Joffrey's cold brew and you like that lavender flavor, I think you're gonna like this. But I just don't love the Joffrey's cold brew itself these days. I think it's changed in like the last year or so. So that's really the only issue I'm having with this here. But I like that foam, and I feel like this foam would actually be good on like an iced tea, like an unsweetened iced tea. I feel like that would be really good on it. Just the coffee that I'm having an issue with. But if, like I said, if you like the Joffrey's cold brew, you will like this. I want to try my food next, but these birds, I gotta keep a close eye on my food, guys. They're trying to get to it. Okay, it is beignet time, and these are the banana caramel beignets. They are apparently light, sweet, and fluffy beignets with powdered sugar, bananas, and caramel sauce for $8.79. I say apparently every time because I know how these beignets are. They say they're fluffy. They're 90% of the time very hollow. And I don't know why these are like a breakfast only item. I found that very interesting, but you can only get these for breakfast, which I believe is until 10:30 or 11, or they say until they run out of the sauce. So I feel like this should kind of be like an all-day item. I don't know what distinguishes it as breakfast. It's just like doused in a caramel sauce, which kind of seems like more of a dessert to me. And they did do something similar with the Mickey beignets over at Port Orleans French Quarter. Maybe 2 years ago, they had a Bananas Foster beignet, and they coated the Mickey beignets in like this sugar, this like pearled sugar, and I was not a fan of them. So I'm hoping these ones are a little bit better than those Mickey beignets. They have a ton of powdered sugar. There's plenty of that sauce I'm seeing on the bottom there. So hopefully these are good. At first, I was like, I don't know about this. And then I really got to taste the sauce. And that sauce is delicious. It takes a very mid to below average beignet and makes it good. I mean, how could that sauce not be good? It's a ton of caramel with some bananas. And then it's on top of fried dough. So yeah, that sauce is really good, and it takes these beignets up a notch for sure. I actually don't think I would eat these beignets again without this sauce here, and I wish they would have this sauce all of the time, because it would make this a really great sweet treat to have here in Magic Kingdom. These beignets just on their own, you see they're just like so hollow on the inside. It's just like eating air. There's just like nothing to them. And when you have such good beignets over at Port Orleans, it's just hard to eat these, you know? But this sauce is killer. And I don't know why it's just here for breakfast. Like I said, maybe if it gets good reviews and people are liking it, maybe it'll stick around. I sure hope so, because I think this is the best variation of these beignets that they've had at Golden Oak. Usually for like the Halloween party and the Christmas party, they try and do something a little bit different with them. I think for Halloween, they have like a cookies and cream version, and last year for Halloween, they had like a spicy version. They try and do different stuff, and I haven't liked any of those versions. This is hands down the best, and I would definitely come get these again. I don't know how much of a breakfast they are. They're real sweet, but they're real good. Our final breakfast item from Golden Oak that we have to try is gonna be this honey butter chicken biscuit breakfast sandwich. This has egg, strawberry jalapeno jam, and pepper jack, and it's served with potato barrels for $10.49. This here is more my speed. While I really like those beignets, I definitely prefer a savory breakfast to a sweet breakfast, and they used to have some good breakfast sandwiches in Magic Kingdom, and they pretty much got rid of all the good breakfast sandwiches that I like. So I'm hoping this one here can replace them. I don't know. I must say, this biscuit here actually looks quite tasty. We've got our piece of chicken, and there it is, topped with that strawberry jalapeno jam. And as soon as I lifted the lid of this sandwich, I could smell that jalapeno, guys. It smells spicy, which I am excited for. That could be the game changer on this breakfast sandwich. That's gonna kick it up a notch, I hope. And then we've got our egg patty down there. It is one of those like pre-made foamy egg patties. I feel like you could kind of tell just by the looks of it. We've got our slice of pepper jack in between. But yeah, this overall looks really solid. And it's hefty too. This thing is thick, but I want to get a bite from this side with all that strawberry jalapeno jam. I really like this breakfast sandwich here. First of all, the biscuit, really good. This isn't your typical Disney biscuit that you get at the buffets. This is a really, really good biscuit. It is not dry at all. The chicken itself, it's a pretty good chicken patty. It tastes just like the Disney chicken tenders, just in patty form. And I think the Disney chicken tenders are solid. So it's a good chicken patty. Egg could use improvement. I wish it was fresh. That strawberry jalapeno jam, I knew it. That is what makes this sandwich here. It's spicy, it's sweet, it is delicious. It ties everything together so perfectly here. I wouldn't say it's too spicy. I'd say most people could probably handle this spice level here, but if you were worried about it, I'd say you could probably ask them to either omit it completely or just put some on the side so you can decide if it's too spicy for you. But I definitely recommend you at least try it out because it is so good. And this is like a massive breakfast sandwich too. Like, this is going to fill you up for a good while. There is a lot of food on here. You get a decent sized egg patty, a really big chicken patty here. So this is a filling breakfast. I really like this. I actually think it's better than any of the breakfast sandwiches that I've had here in the past that they've gotten rid of. So I would definitely recommend this. And if I'm here for breakfast in Magic Kingdom, it's one I'd come back for sure. Well, Golden Oak was definitely a success. I think that is a great option for breakfast if you're going to be here early in Magic Kingdom, but there is still one other breakfast that I want to try here today. This breakfast item is somewhat new. It came out a couple of months ago, but like I said, I'm never in the parks early enough for breakfast, so I just haven't been able to get it. You could find it at Westward Ho, which is like right across from Pecos Bill. I have been wanting to try this for the longest time, and so many people have been asking me what I think of it. I'm finally gonna be able to tell you. This is the Mickey-shaped bacon pecan caramel cinnamon roll for $8.49. And guys, this thing is just absolutely loaded with caramel, and it's so sticky. I waited a while for this. I don't think they stopped selling it for breakfast. They sell it like a little bit afterwards, but I guess they run out quite often because it is very popular over there, I see. So I had to wait quite a while for it, but I hope it's worth it. And because of how sticky it is, this is definitely a fork and knife cinnamon roll. As always, ears first. Served warm. And it looks to be better than a lot of the other cinnamon rolls they have here. You know, they have the popular Gaston cinnamon roll. We'll see if it's better. We gotta load it up with some of that bacon. Instantly, so much better than Gaston's, in my opinion. What I like about it is that the dough is so soft and it has way more cinnamon, brown, sugary kind of filling in it. My issue that I always have with the Gaston cinnamon roll is it feels like I'm just eating a loaf of bread and there's never enough cinnamon flavor. Since this is like thinner, it does have enough of that cinnamon filling and it's way more like ooey gooey, and I think that's the caramel helps as well. I want to get a bite from the center here. The center of the roll, you guys know that's always the best part. That should have, oh yeah. It's just, you could just tell by the looks of it. It just looks so much better than Gaston's. And it tastes better too. You guys will have to let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you've had both the Gaston cinnamon roll and this one, let me know which one you prefer. Guys, these birds are crazy today. They're up to no good. They're eyeing me up over here as well. That center bite was really, really good. I don't think it's necessarily better than like Cinnabon. I still think Cinnabon is the gold standard, but it's definitely one of the better, if not the best cinnamon roll I've had here on Disney World property. I was a little bit worried because I am someone who loves just loads of cream cheese frosting on a cinnamon roll. Since this doesn't have that, I was a little bit worried that it would be missing that, but I'm actually not missing it at all with the other toppings. I think the caramel really takes over, and I do like the crunchy bits of bacon and the nuts. I don't really taste the nuts, like it's not giving total, like, you can't really taste them, but it just adds like an extra crunch. The bacon, just a tiny bit of smokiness, but mainly those toppings there in the nuts and the bacon just add like some texture and some crunch to it. But this is really good. It's gooey, it's cinnamony, it's soft, it's warm. If I'm looking for a cinnamon roll in Magic Kingdom, this is the one I'm getting. While it's still early and we're still on our breakfast journey here in Magic Kingdom, there is still one more cold brew that they just introduced here in the park that I want to pick up. Here at the Cheshire Cafe, they have the White Rabbit. This is, of course, Joffrey's cold brew coffee with white chocolate sauce, a raspberry cold foam, raspberry powder, and a chocolate piece for $6.49. This cold brew sounds delicious. Even more delicious, I think, than the last one we tried. White chocolate raspberry, I don't know. And I could smell that raspberry. I think it's going to be a really good combo here. Once again, we must give it a mix, incorporate everything. Ooh, this one's difficult to mix. I really want want to love this because underneath the coffee, I could tell that this would be so good. But when you combine that raspberry with the sour coffee, it just makes this drink so tart. So tart that it like literally made me like physically pucker in a way. It's like, this is sour. Ooh. But it's once again just the coffee. This flavor combo, I know this would be great if I had it in like a Starbucks cold brew. So this could just be me. This could just be me. I just am not a fan of Joffrey's cold brew, so I guess I'm just not going to like any of these new cold brews. That could be the case. I really want to because I'm so excited for these new cold brews to be here, and I'm so excited that we're finally getting some Disneyland cold brew vibes, but I don't know what Joffrey's did to their cold brew. It's so sour these days. Is anyone else experiencing this? It never used to be like this. And again, it's not the flavor because the raspberry white chocolate, I could, underneath the cold brew, I could taste that. And I know it tastes good. My issue is just the cold brew itself. But again, if you like Joffrey's cold brew, which I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that do, I think this is really good and you should try this out. But if you don't like Joffrey's cold brew, like myself, I was just hoping that the different flavors would like mask the sourness, but it's unfortunately not. This one is just making it even more sour for me, so dang. But in general, I'm just so happy that we do have specialty cold brews, so I'll still take it, but I'm going to Starbucks next time. All right, well, we are done with cold brew for the day. There are 2 new main specialty cold brews here in Magic Kingdom, but there are a couple others throughout the rest of the park, so who knows, when I hit up the other parks, I may try to try those out as well. But in general, Disney World has upped their cold brew game. They've added just plain cold brew as well as a lot of cold foam to a lot of the quick service locations around Disney World. So there's just a lot more places in general that you can grab a coffee, which is nice because pretty much the only places you used to be able to go was just like the main Joffrey's hub in each park or Starbucks. And those lines used to get very busy at times. So now there's just more places in general you can grab coffee or cold brew. But since we are done with cold brew, we are moving on to ice cream, and our new ice cream in the park is going to come from Anti-Gravity's here in Tomorrowland. All around the parks and the resorts as well, they started adding these hand-dipped Mickey ice cream bars, and here at Anti-Gravity's, they have a hand-dipped Mickey's premium ice cream bar with sprinkles for $7.69. After tax, this Mickey bar came out to over $8. I'm not sure how much a regular Mickey bar costs these days. I'm gonna have to go look after this, but I don't know if a dip in some red chocolate and some white sprinkles can take it up in price however much this did, because over $8 for this seems a little bit outrageous to me. I don't know, and I don't think it's going to change the taste of the Mickey bar that much, but let's dive in. I haven't had a Mickey bar in a while, so either way, I mean, it's going to taste good. A Mickey bar is great either way, so. Actually, I did have a Mickey bar when I stayed at the boardwalk. I forgot about that. That is messy, but it's a Mickey bar with sprinkles. I actually think that red color has some type of fruity raspberry flavor to it, so it actually does taste pretty good. But if you're looking for some type of loaded Mickey bar, over in Disney Springs at Goofy's Candy Company, they have amazing loaded Mickey bars where you can kind of create your own. They have a bunch of different toppings. They have like different drizzles and different toppings that you could choose from. And I think that one is so good. I like to get it with like caramel or dark chocolate, and then you could add like pretzels for a little salty bite. That one is so good. So if I'm looking for like a loaded Mickey bar like that, I would go to Disney Springs. I think that one is well worth your money and worth your time over there. It's delicious. This one, not so much. I'd probably just stick to a classic because I bet it's probably a little bit cheaper. but it's fun. It's cute. Now around property, they have a bunch of different Mickey bars where they're kind of putting different toppings on them. This one is one of the more basic ones. It actually probably is the most basic one, but it's the only one they had here in Magic Kingdom, so it was the only one I was able to get. Like I mentioned, at some of the different parks and resorts, they have different toppings. Some of them include Butterfingers, Reese's peanut butter cups, these like little caramel crunchies. They have freeze-dried Skittles. So there are definitely cooler toppings that I might be interested in trying, but the sprinkles is pretty basic. But like I said, it's fun. Now I want to go check how much a regular Mickey bar is, because I'm curious. All right, I found this card over here. I was looking at the board. $6.49 for a regular Mickey bar. So I guess it's like almost $1.50 more. So it's not that bad, but still, for sprinkles, I don't know. Might be worth it for some Reese's though. That does sound good. Well, we touched on the new cold brews. We touched on the new Mickey bars. There is still one more thing I have not mentioned that they just added a bunch of around Disney World, and that is the chicken tenders. I want to say there are 13 new flavors of chicken tenders around Disney World. There are 3 new ones here in Magic Kingdom. We're going to get 2 starting here at Cosmic Rays. At Cosmic Rays, we'll find the buffalo chicken strips with ranch seasoning served with fries for $12.99. Oh man, the lunch rush at Cosmic Rays is no joke, guys. I came here at the wrong time. It is crazy in there. There are people everywhere. I walked around for so long looking for a table, but finally I lucked out with a table, and these tenders smell and look really, really good. I'm excited to try them out. Once again, this is a fork and knife kind of food here. Wow, that sauce is so good. It's buffalo sauce, but it's more creamy than your typical buffalo sauce. And that ranch seasoning on top makes it like a little bit zesty. I think the flavor on this is incredible. And they didn't go light on the sauce here either. There is quite a bit of sauce on here, which I definitely appreciate. I do wish they tossed the tenders in the sauce. Instead, they kind of just put the 4 tenders in here and then scooped a bit of the sauce on top. But they did put a bunch, which is good because I'm definitely going to dip my fries into this sauce afterwards. And considering how much sauce is on these tenders, they stayed really crispy throughout, even considering how much time I was walking around looking for a table. So yeah, wow, these are really, really good. I was a little skeptical of all these tenders that they introduced, but now that these are so good, I'm excited to kind of try some of the other ones that are around the parks and resorts, because these are quite tasty. We do still have one more order of chicken strips that we're going to be getting to today in the park, but there is one that we're going to be missing, and that's coming from over at Columbia Harbor House. At Harbor House, they have seaside chicken strips that have seasoned aioli, crushed pretzels, and crispy garlic. I decided to skip them because I do not eat aioli, but if any of you guys have tried them, let me know how they are in the comments. The pretzels sound kind of interesting to me, so I don't know. But how do you put pretzels on a chicken tender? I feel like they would be good if you like crusted the chicken tender in the pretzels instead of like the typical breading. That would be good, but just topped with pretzels? I don't know. Sounds interesting. But we are going to head to Pinocchio Village House for our final order of tenders. Here they have the lemon pepper Parmesan chicken strips. These are once again served with a side for $12.99. Pinocchio's even crazier. I could not even walk out of the establishment with my tray. That's how busy it was in there. There's not a single table outside, not a single table inside. Even the upstairs balcony that I usually sit at, completely full. It is a madhouse out here. But I've got my tenders. I think there was supposed to be a sauce on them, but since I waited about 30 minutes after it said my order was ready in a line to pick up my tenders, I think it has since dried up. So I don't know. We'll see how these are. This tender here, though, looks like it used to have the most sauce on it, so I want to try this one out. That one definitely had a lot of sauce, almost too much sauce. Like it wasn't evenly distributed because again, they're not tossing these tenders. I watched, they just like had a squeeze bottle and squeezed it over the top of the tenders. I want to try this one because it has a little bit less of the sauce because that one was like too much. It was so overpoweringly citrusy. Whereas the first one was too citrusy, this one didn't have enough flavor on it. It's still better than just like a regular chicken tender because you do get that Parmesan and you do get a little bit of like a garlic, buttery, just a little bit of a lemony flavor. So it's still better than a regular Disney tender just because it has some type of added flavor. But I think this is just an exception just because they're so busy in there that I unfortunately got like a bad batch just because they sat there for so incredibly long after they were ready in like the heat lamp area. I think that's just the case with these because I can imagine if these were good and they had that like fresh, buttery, lemony, peppery sauce and these were like freshly coated, these would be good. I could tell. But I think this is just a case of bad luck with how busy the park is right now. But now as I'm eating the rest of this tender, there is the perfect amount of seasoning. So it's just poorly distributed on my batch. I'm definitely gonna come back and get these again. I've seen such good reviews of these. And lemon pepper and like garlic parm are two of my favorite flavors of wings. So I've gotta come back for these. And hopefully next time the park is not at like Christmas holiday level crowds. I hope not for sure. With that, we have officially tried all of the new food here in Magic Kingdom. Hopefully this video helps you guys plan what you're gonna eat the next time you're in the park. Leave me a comment down below letting me know which of the new foods that I tried today you wanna try the most. Shout out to everyone over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. There is so much new food all around Disney World that I am definitely gonna be getting to. So if you guys wanna see me try it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.